We got a free plugin. I'm so excited to share. It's for a tremolo effect, which I have just been honestly wanting to use in a song so badly. So this is very exciting, and let's get into the DAW. And this is what it looks like. It's very, very simple, but there's still a lot that you can play with, which is pretty cool. So over here, you can adjust the shape of the sound. You have phase, which you can adjust. You have smoothness, which you can adjust. You can adjust the rate, which is how quickly or slow you want the tremolo to go. You can either sync it with your metronome or kind of just have it freeform. There's depth, which is the mix, basically, how wet and dry you want it to be. Your width is if you want it front and center, or if you want it really wide, it's about your stereo width. Your filter is kind of like a little mini EQ, and then your out is just your volume. To hear this a little bit more clearly, I'm going to solo out the vocal. And then we're just gonna let it play while I move through all of these different shapes, which is pretty self-explanatory as we listen to each of them and you can see the shape of the sound. You get the gist. All right. I'm everywhere. I'm in the air. The time is now. I'm everywhere. I'm in the air. I'm everywhere. The time is now. It's just sound. Don't think too hard about it. Don't think too hard. You're bringing me down. Don't think too hard about it. So again, those are pretty self-explanatory. We have our kind of wavy, kind of similar to wavy, but a little bit more direct. We have our fade in, fade out, and then a little more dramatic swoop in, swoop out. The stair step is like crisp and clean. It's on, it's off. And then this one is kind of a wild card. It's kind of random. You never know where it's going to be next. So then we have our phase. To be honest, I have no idea what this does. I have yet to figure it out. So let's just listen to it and see if you can get anything. I'm going to go ahead and turn the metronome on for this. There we go. To be honest, I did not hear a single change. So if you noticed anything, please leave a comment because I don't really know what that does. So I just don't use it. Smoothness is pretty self-explanatory. It smooths it out. It's a little different from depth, which is like bringing it the effect more dry and more wet. Smoothness is like literally like softening the curve. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So it's just like a subtle bounce. And that's just, you know, personal preference on if you want the effect more prominent or if you want it more subtle or smooth. So bringing it back down. Your rate, as you could see, like I said, it's about how quick you're doing it. And again, if you sync it, it goes to the metronome. And I want to give you an example of how cool it can be when you turn it off of sync and you haven't let it be a little bit more organic. And I think that this is the coolest if you want to do like a live automation recording. So I'm going to take it off of solo so you can hear the instruments and how this can be kind of neat. So it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it was kind of cool. And you could definitely play around with that more of like slowing it, you know, bring it just even more texture, which is like the whole point of this tool. So then I'm gonna sync it back up and bring it to about 16, which is where I like it. All right, so then we're playing with the depth. Again, it's just kind of dry and wet. Let's solo it. I'm everywhere, I'm in the air, the time is now. I'm everywhere, I'm in the air. Width is, again, stereo width. Is it going to be mono, face forward, front and center, or is it going to spread out into the width of your headphones? Of course, I really like it towards the wider side because it naturally has a pan left and right. When you're trying to add texture, having control over where it sits in the space and having a some width is really fun. So again, let's listen. I'm everywhere, I'm in the air, the time is now. I'm everywhere, I'm in the air, I'm everywhere, the time is now. I almost kind of like it right there because it feels like it's all around you. All right, filter, again, kind of like a mini EQ. Pretty self-explanatory. I already adjusted it a little bit. Highs low, highs high, lows high, a little bit muddier, but warmer, richer, kind of flat. Play with that until it sounds right, and then your volume in and out. I'm everywhere, I'm in the air, the time is. And that's about it. Up here we have our bypass, so you can listen to what we've done. I'm everywhere, I'm in the air, the time is now. I'm everywhere, ooh, okay. I love it. See how much more interesting that just made everything. Okay, so then last but not least, we do have this little option right here, which is roll the dice. In my experience, I have not really found it to sound that great. It's like it'll just give you something random. So that's it. I hope that was helpful. If you like this tremolo effect and this filter, go ahead and check for the link in the description. I'm going to leave it there. And if it was helpful, consider giving a subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I would love to answer. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.